The Verve were right, it turns out. The drugs don't work, Josh.
They don't work. So new research has found that serotonin is not the key to depression. Because that's why over the last, since the 90s, 1 in 6 adults now take antidepressants.
SSRIs, right?
Yeah, and 2% of teenagers are now being prescribed them as well. It's been a huge increase. But now they're saying, actually, all this research over thousands of people are saying they didn't just test this one thing. They tested this is several decades of research, by the way.
Yeah.
And
so is this a kind of meta survey, like a big
meta survey, but also doing different things. So one of the things they did is they researched levels of serotonin in the blood, and they basically didn't discover any difference whether someone was depressed or not. So someone with low or high, or the two didn't sort of seemingly correlate to that. They also looked at studies where they artificially lowered serotonin.
Yeah.
Didn't make any impact in depression.
And are these people who are on the pills?
These are people who weren't on any pills, and so they lowered serotonin. So, and then another thing that they did is that stressful life events seem to have much more importance about whether people actually get depressed or not.
Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly. So, guess what has happened? A spokesman for the Royal College of Psychiatrists says, actually, they're massively effective. Hey, Big Pharma. Got to the old.
It's very interesting, isn't it? I mean, a lot of people have been saying for decades since it first came in. Prozac was the first big one of these, right? But now there are loads of different variations on them. But when it first came in, right from the get-go, a lot of people saying, I think this is just a placebo effect, that people are being told that something is working.
Hey, human family, how are you? It's Darren. Welcome to another episode of Fully Alive Again. You guys, I have an excellent program for you today. For those of you new to the channel, I want to say welcome to the channel. Our focus here is to help you get out of your head and back into your life by cultivating the fight, the motivation, the wisdom to go up, over, around, or through narcissists and narcissism. On today's show, we're going to discuss the new finding, the new research that proves Big Pharma and psychologists all around the world were in a major scam about how to handle depression. Serotonin, it was completely erroneous, and it made billions of dollars and have damaged millions of people. This is the world of Big Pharma and psychologists in bed together. So let's take a deeper look and see how that pertains to narcissistic abuse. So let's do what we do and dive deep.
No tears, no fears, fully alive again after these years.
Just like Big Pharma, that in the United States of America currently has 65 million people on antidepressants, the DSM, the world of psychology, is constantly adding new mental illness into different categories. This is big business, nothing more, nothing less. To assume that no one should ever be depressed is ridiculous. To categorize it as something that is abnormal is ridiculous. We live in a world that is so thirsty for constant happiness and convenience that anything that takes us away from that, we've been programmed to assume there is something wrong with us. Going through narcissistic abuse, emotional abuse, and the evil things that these people do, it would be abnormal not to be depressed. The more that you think you shouldn't experience depression, the worse it's going to be. Once you understand that it's normal when you've been betrayed, when you've been lied to, abused, gaslit, etc., to feel depressed, to not be happy, to not have the level of energy that you normally have. once you try to fix this without fixing yourself, meaning that understanding why you behave the way that you do, and what's going on internally. You see, depression is just a deeper sadness, and your physical being and your mind telling you that you're on an overload. It's telling you, I need a break. I need to rest, and I need to change. I don't like the way that you are viewing the world and what's going on right now. Slow down, take care of me, meaning take care of you physically and mentally. Depression is really lack of sleep. It's sleep deprivation to a degree. It's deep rest. That's what depression is. It's telling you, I need a deep rest. I need a change. I need clarity. And this is a good thing. God has designed our bodies with mechanisms and intuition that is absolutely astonishing. If you just listen to it and get out of the world and the craziness and the noise of the world and slow down, stop comparing yourself to others, stop looking at the person you used to be, and start to develop and cultivate the new person that you're going to be. It's being trapped in the past and not connected to or a vision of the future. It's an overload. And that's perfectly normal after going through narcissistic abuse, after discovering all of the toxic monsters that surround you. So now I go in, I do the inner work, I find things that motivate me, purpose. I build a team of people that help get me to do the things that I need to do. I've heard a lot of so-called experts say motivation, inspiration is irrelevant for healing. That is preposterous. That is insanity. Life is a contact sport. You will get knocked down at times. You will have to stand back up and face your adversaries. That takes support, inspiration, motivation. We would not be here if there weren't people that motivated us, be it in battle, be it in survival during difficult times, like when a farmer plants a crop and an early frost comes. It was unfair. You did all the work. You did everything right. And something comes along and destroys your crop. That takes some inspiration, some motivation and drive to get back up and plant again. Because you won't reap if you don't plant. The whole motivation of everything I do on this channel is to get you to plant again. Step by step, day by day, taking incremental or large steps, depending on where you're at, to start to develop yourself again, to start to cultivate yourself again. And this is the way that you come out of depression naturally. One, it's to accept it and to know that it's normal. Don't shame yourself for don't shame yourself for it. It's not something that you're broken. It's natural. If you break your leg from a fall, it's natural that your leg breaks when it hits a certain hard fall. And it's at a certain angle. That's a natural consequence of events. Depression is natural. You are not broken. You are not shameful. You are enough just as you are. You have just been indoctrinated into thinking that there's something wrong with you when you're depressed. There isn't. It's an indication. It is your mind and body telling you, one, I need a rest. Number two, I need to make some changes in my self-identity and in my purpose and focus of where I'm going through. Or where I'm going to, rather. It's God has designed us perfectly. Let me say this again. God has designed this machine that you are walking around in perfectly. If you learn to understand it and you have the right people around you that help you cultivate yourself to the next level, you're going to come out of this just fine. The world of psychology and big pharma are all about stagnation. I hear people all over the internet right now, some so-called experts saying that motivation, ambition, people who have charisma and other things are bad things, that these are indications of a narcissist. This is the feminization and the activism of psychology. Anyone that wants you to be weak, docile, and agreeable is manipulating you. They can do it in a gentle, academic, kind, convincing way, but it all leads to the same result. You being powerless and being ran over by other people. We all have different personality traits. Narcissism is evil. It is parasitic. It is not arrogant. It is not disagreeable. It is not agreeable. It's not charismatic. It's not vanilla and boring. It is parasitic and evil. Everything else could be in Myers-Briggs personality traits. Mainstream media, the Hollywood machine, is trying to convince people that narcissism is something other than evil, parasitic, and crazy. They're trying to make it male energy, toxic masculinity, people who are ambitious, people who have their own agenda in terms of control over their life and self-agency. Narcissists want you to be weak. They do not want you to be strong. This is 100%. That's why they try to whittle you away. They will try to shame you into stop being a male. They will try to shame you and stop having goals and ambitions. Don't allow that to happen. That's what these drugs do. They pacify. They make you weak and reliant on something other than your own strength. God wants you strong, healthy, powerful. Does that make sense? So don't shame yourself for your depression. It is a natural consequence from your environment and your life experiences. All right, you guys? I appreciate you stopping by. If you found some value in today's shows, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Don't be shy. Come on, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and what say you? Enlighten me. I love to hear your suggestions and comments. And always remember, you guys, you are more powerful and capable than you know. Never allow anyone to belittle you, to make you submissive and agreeable to what they say you should be. This is insanity. All right? You don't need the medication. You don't need half of the bullshit that psychologists and big pharma are throwing down your throat. Build a deeper relationship with yourself and with the Creator, with God, and the universal laws and understandings will open up to you. And you will not need the medication or the pack of BS that the psychologists tell you you need. Trust your intuition. It's all right to be powerful. It's all right to be a man. It's all right to be masculine or feminine, short, tall, aggressive or shy, charismatic or boring. You are enough just how you are. Never allow anyone to shame you for who and what you are, and to tell you that you cannot heal yourself without the drugs or without being just like they tell you you should be. All right, you guys, I've got nothing but love for you, and I'll catch you on the next video. Until then, peace. Be well.
No tears, no fears. Fully alive again after these years.